What if the very person you trusted to protect you, the person who raised you, who should have been your safe place, was actually the one who drained you dry? What if love wasn't love at all, but control disguised as family loyalty? And what if the only way to survive was to walk away, not with anger or shouting, but with silence so final it would dismantle everything they thought they had over you? Stay with me, because this is a story about family betrayal, about the quiet strength it takes to finally break free, and about how sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't fire or fury, it's peace. Leave and don't come back. Those were the last words my father hurled at me before the door closed between us. His face was red, his eyes bloodshot, and his voice shook the walls. My bags were already packed by then. I didn't argue, I didn't cry, I didn't beg. I just looked him dead in the eye, turned the knob, and walked out into the rain. It felt like the sky was spitting me out too, cold droplets soaking my shoulders, as if the world itself was saying, "Go on, get out. This isn't your home anymore." He didn't call me the next day, not the next week, not the next month, but I knew he would eventually, and when he finally did, it wasn't because he missed me. It wasn't because he loved me. It was because of the card. Growing up, I thought my dad was unshakable, a fortress, hard, distant, but reliable. His name is Richard Hale, and to me, as a little girl, he was larger than life. When my mom, her name was Elena, died, I was just 13. I remember watching him fold her scarf, place it in the drawer, and say only 2 words: "We move on." No tears, no softness, just silence. I needed comfort. He gave me coldness. I needed reassurance. He gave me rules. I obeyed, because what else could I do? I studied, earned straight A's, got into a good college. I found scholarships, part-time jobs, ways to build a life without asking for help. And then one day, the fortress called me back. It started with a message: "Come home just for a while." Richard's voice on the phone sounded weaker than I remembered. He told me the house was falling apart, the bills were piling up, and I was the only one he trusted. He painted himself as a man barely holding on, as a father reaching out to his daughter, not just for help, but for family. So I listened. Against my better judgment, I listened. I paused my graduate program. I took a better-paying job closer to him. I told myself I was doing the right thing, that helping him now would heal old wounds, that maybe, just maybe, this was our second chance. For a little while it worked. He was charming, polite. He played the role of the grateful father perfectly. I covered the groceries, paid part of the rent, and even added him to my credit card for gas and medication. And for a short, fleeting time, I believed this was what family was supposed to be. But betrayal doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's a slow drip. The first charge was small, $40 at a liquor store. I brushed it off. Then $300 vanished at a casino I didn't even know he went to. And then came the gut punch, a $2,000 overdraft. Auto payments bounced. My savings drained overnight. I pulled the logs, every single charge traced back to him, his number at the ATM, his face on the security footage, his sloppy signature on receipts. When I confronted him, I expected shame, an apology, something human. Instead, he smirked. "You live under my roof. What's mine is yours, and what's yours, well, I gave you life, did I?" That was the moment I realized he wasn't asking for help. He was demanding control. I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I didn't even cry. I nodded, smiled faintly, and went back to my room. That night, I started planning. The first thing I did was reroute my direct deposit into a separate account. Then I froze the shared one, quietly, without a word. I canceled his access to the card. I created digital locks on every account, changed passwords, and set alerts for unusual activity. He didn't notice at first. The tension built slowly. I let the beer bottles pile up in the sink again. I let the charm fade, the mask slip, until the real Richard came roaring back. One night I overheard him on the phone, his voice slurred but sharp. "She's just a spoiled brat. She'll come crawling back, always does." That's when I knew he never needed help. He only ever needed power. And I was done handing it to him. The final straw came on a Thursday night. Richard asked for my car keys, said he needed to run errands. No, I told him, calmly, firmly. That's when he snapped. The rage boiled over. He hurled the remote across the room, missing my face by inches. His voice thundered, shaking the walls. Get out of my house and don't come back. So I did. I stayed at a friend's place, filed a fraud report, explained to the bank how I'd been manipulated, coerced. They believed me, reversed the charges, froze every account tied to him. By the time I was done, the fortress had nothing left to stand on. 2 weeks later, the first message arrived. Card declined, can you fix it? Gas station says it won't work. I didn't reply. 3 days later, groceries didn't go through. What's going on? Still silence. Then the voicemail, his voice softer now, pretending at concern. Hey, if this is about what I said, I was angry, all right. Just fix the card. I'm still your father. Still trying to guilt me, still trying to reel me back into the cycle. So I called him. He picked up on the second ring. Why isn't the card working? He demanded. I waited a beat, then said quietly, because I finally stopped paying for people who treat me like trash. There was silence, just the sound of his breathing on the other end. Then came the venom, you ungrateful little. I hung up. It's been 4 months. He tried showing up at my job once. I had security escort him out. He tried contacting my aunt, asking her to talk sense into me. She blocked him. Turns out, when you take away an abuser's access, their power crumbles fast. Now I'm back in graduate school, living in a tiny apartment that's barely big enough for a couch and a desk, but it's mine. No footsteps stomping overhead, no slammed doors, no shouting, just me, my peace, and the sound of nothing being taken from me. Sometimes, late at night, I remember that last look he gave me before I stepped into the rain. He thought he'd won, thought he'd broken me like always. But what he never saw, what none of them ever see, is how quiet revenge really is. Not yelling, not spectacle, just silence. And a card that'll never swipe again. So tell me, if someone you loved betrayed you over and over again, would you forgive them? Or would you do what I did and let silence be your sharpest answer? If you found strength in this story, don't forget to subscribe to Taylee's Between Time for more powerful stories of resilience, betrayal, and the quiet victories that change everything.